Ubisoft is a company that has completely lost the plot. They have no idea what their customers want anymore, yet they're continuing to barrel forward and greenlight projects that are ultimately going to lose them money. And we just got confirmation that they are going to be remaking older Assassin's Creed games and they are going to be modernizing them in the process. But now the Ubisoft CEO says he's dismayed about the quote malicious and personal online attacks directed at team members. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube membership. So, it says the CEO stated he's dismayed by alleged malicious and personal online attacks that have been directed at Ubisoft team members and partners. Now, right off the bat, we already know a few controversies that they are a part of. First off, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is a game that most people do not seem excited for because people have loved Assassin's Creed in the past, but this looks like they're going in a wildly different direction. And while Assassin's Creed has never been completely historically accurate, a lot of the characters that they have put in based on historical figures have been pretty close to the understandings that we have of those individuals. And then they have Yasuke now, who fights to hip hop music and just completely does not reflect the historical figure we knew him as. He was more of a retainer, but now they're making him a full-blown samurai. And of course, on the flip side, we have Star Wars Outlaws. And while Star Wars games more recently have made quite a lot of money, like Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, and they were pretty good games, we see them going in yet another different direction, them deciding to put a strong female character in the lead. And I love games and movies, just entertainment with lead female characters, but she clearly is just strong to be strong. We really don't know all that much about her at this point, and we're only a couple of months away from release, and the gameplay does not look like it's anything spectacular. We saw recently at the Summer Games Fest the Ubisoft presentation gameplay for it, and it really failed to live up to expectations. Overall, two projects that have not gone over well with people. And now we have the CEO coming out saying that the team members are facing hatred when really they're just facing criticism. Now, yes, of course, there are always going to be people online who push the limits and take things too far, say things that are, past a point where most normal people, most sane people would go. But we're talking primarily about legitimate criticism that, of course, they're just taking it all as harassment. It says in an interview, the director of editorial communications, Lucy O'Brien, that was published to their website, he was asked, I'd like to end with a two-part question. First, what dismays you about the games industry right now? And he responded, one thing I am concerned about right now is the malicious and personal online attacks that have been directed at some of our team members and partners. I want to make it clear at Ubisoft, we condemn these hateful acts in the strongest possible terms, and I encourage the rest of the industry and players to denounce them too. So this right here basically confirms our suspicion. So on Sweet Baby Inc.'s webpage, Ubisoft is one of the partnered companies, but we did not know for certain with clarity that they were working on Assassin's Creed Shadows, but now we do because they are saying they're team members and partners. And what is the only company right now people are talking about that would be partnering with Ubisoft? Sweet Baby Inc. Now, of course, we knew Kim Belair had previously worked at Ubisoft for quite a long time, and it did seem like all arrows pointed to her and her team also working on this game, but this is basically all the confirmation that we needed. Yes, people are boycotting Sweet Baby Inc. There are hundreds of thousands to millions of gamers who refuse to touch products that they have worked on, and this is just a realization these companies are going to have to come to very quickly unless they want to continue to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. It says, I am proud to support the amazing work of our teams and partners, and I will always trust in their creative choices. Congratulations to you. I'm glad that you are trusting them and that you are going to trust in their creative choices. But at the end of the day, you are not the one buying the game. You are not the person who is supposed to be swiping their credit card for a $70 to a $130 purchase. That is us. That is the customers, and the customers have spoken. The customers do not want to support narrative consultation companies. End of story, period. So, yes, we do see a lot of decisions just with Assassin's Creed Shadows that point to SBI and the unfortunate effect that they have on games. It's not like we have developers simply creating something they feel passionate in. We've got a little bit of that, but then another company behind the scenes pointing them around and saying, oh, change this, do this differently, you have to alter that. It's just not what people want to support. Narrative consultation companies are not positive to the industry in the format that they exist right now. Of course, people have argued maybe if they scaled back a little bit and they simply, gave their feedback, it would be one thing, and they were not commanding products and teams around from the project's inception, but we know that they are doing that. Look at something like Tales of Kenzara Zao. Sweet Baby was there from day one, from the inception, meaning they had their claws sunken into that game from the start, and that is the issue. Of course, these companies do not care because they only spawned because of Gamergate 1, and they spawned because they saw an opportunity to control developers and control the industry, and that's not what gamers want to support. It, of course, is unclear exactly what he's talking about, given he does not share any evidence or discuss what these malicious and personal online attacks are. But, of course, we can deduce it has to do with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and, of course, Star Wars Outlaws, because they both have been ridiculed by gamers for their injection of wokeness in character choices and designs, as well as the narratives both games plan to tell. Just a lot of the decisions that have been made with these. And like I just spoke about in a recent video that will be linked down below, we just got the announcement that we are going to be getting Assassin's Creed remakes, and we're being told that the company will modernize them. Now, I used to love Assassin's Creed. I would love an Assassin's Creed 1 or 2 remake that simply, updated the graphics, maybe patched up the gameplay a little bit, made it a little bit more of a smooth experience. But unfortunately, we are talking about Ubisoft, where they take a historical figure and completely change their backstory in order to try to sell more copies of a game. And then, of course, when we hear modernize, who knows what their big bad plans are for these remakes. And it is sad to see, because I used to love Assassin's Creed. And I even have loved recent Star Wars games that have come out, like Fallen Order. It was a fantastic title. Survivor was not as good, at least in my opinion, but it's just disappointing to see this happen time and time again and see companies not actually listen to us. Now, I personally, like many other gamers, do not trust Yves Guillemot. He is someone who has, over the years, said one thing and done the complete opposite, and I just don't trust him. Like, I don't trust any of the people working on any of these games that work at this company anymore. Only time will tell what is going to happen with these two titles, because they do only come out in the next couple of months, but him coming out and saying he's dismayed about the malicious and personal online attacks without addressing at all whatsoever the fact that gamers are upset and completely ignoring our feedback and our criticism just speaks miles about how they don't really care about us. They simply care about protecting themselves instead of actually trying to sell video games that are worth $70 to $130 price tags that they're slapping on them, and actually trying to take our feedback into consideration. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.